It starts on the border of Maine and Canada, where 100 boys will compete in the annual event known as the Long Walk. There's literally no finish line. It is last boy standing. You have to go until you can't go anymore. Otherwise, you don't win. And the losers in this one, they get it pretty bad. You see, there are some rules. First rule is you have to walk faster than 4 miles an hour, or you get a warning. This is like some Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock speed, keep that bus going 50 miles or over. You get 3 warnings, and then on the 4th one, it's not a warning. You get a ticket. What's a ticket? Well, it's the ultimate euphemism. You get dead. There's no coming back.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
They shoot you dead on the spot. So you better keep your butt moving faster than 4 miles per hour. Now there's some other rules too, and there's some guidelines, like you get water whenever you want water. You get a feeding belt, where you get food on a belt that comes and gets delivered to you every morning. You know, a lot of stuff going on. But the big thing is you are walking a race with 100 total boys, and you have to be the last one standing. Otherwise, you get dead. Why would anyone do this annual race, you might ask? Well, you get a crap ton of money, and you literally get anything you want for the rest of your life. The Long Walk, written under the alias Richard Bachman, was actually written long before Stephen King ever threw the Carrie manuscript into the trash for his wife, Tabitha, to pick up and say, "Keep going with this one, honey." The Long Walk is a predecessor to other works like his own The Running Man, Susan Collins' The Hunger Games, and even a touch of the old Battle Royale. The difference in The Long Walk, however, is that it leans more towards the psychological side of this event. Yeah, there's a lot of death, but isn't there always? But this one really focuses on the psychological. It's still a battle to the death like these other films, but much slower. The Long Walk is like a Romero zombie slowly stalking you, whereas those other books and films are your Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead remake type zombies. I gotta be honest, I love this concept. Nowadays, you have so many different types of races. You have 5Ks, 10Ks, you got half marathons, ultra marathons. You got all sorts of different types of races. Do you have any idea the crazy amount of races that there actually are? There's a 22-mile race where it's man versus horse in Wales. There's the Stiletto Run, the 2-mile New York City Pizza Run where you gotta eat pizzas at the 3 checkpoints during the race, the Krispy Kreme Challenge, of course, and even the 3,100-mile Self-Transcendence race where the entire race is ran over a single New York City block. That's right, you got 52 weeks to complete it, which supposedly equates to about 59.6 miles a day. Yeesh. It's incredible what runners are actually doing these days. They're not just running on the streets all nice and boring. They're running up mountains, the Himalayas, Everest, everything. We can conquer so much. It'll be so interesting to see how legitimate professional runners, racers, walkers would actually tackle the Long Walk. I mean, you get to carry a bag. What do you bring? You bring toilet paper, right? You got to bring toilet paper. I, of course, would bring a lot of gallons of sunblock. But what would you do? What would you bring? How would you train knowing there's no finish line? You have no idea how long you would have to go for. So I gotta wonder, why hasn't anyone tried this? Why haven't we recreated the Long Walk yet? There are so many obsessed Stephen King fans. Has nobody done this before? Has no one thought to recreate this? I mean, it's a tragedy, honestly. It's a tragedy. Of course, I don't mean like let's go out and kill everyone who gets below 4 miles an hour, but let's have 100 people, not just boys, let's be honest, that's just ridiculous. I want to see how long people can speed walk for in order to win a race against the weather, against their opponents, but more importantly, against themselves. The mind torture that would have to go into a race like that, knowing there's no actual finish line. You just have to be the last one standing. I love that. There's actually a film adaptation coming out from the director of Troll Hunter and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Frank Darabont, director of Shawshank Redemption and The Mist, used to have the option for this story, but he just never got around to it and the option ran out. I think the real trick in this movie would be to be able to add tension for people who are, just kind of walking. Where do you get the tension? Obviously, people are going to be dying, so tension there, but a lot of this is just walking. The tone of the film is almost more Stand By Me than The Hunger Games in its essence, connecting with these kids who have barely lived. Unfortunately, the shooting of this film is on hold due to the pandemic, but when it's time, I think it would be such a cool idea for a marketing and publicity stunt to actually recreate The Long Walk. You could even have Stephen King play the Major, who's like this dictator in charge of overseeing everything. I just think it would be so cool to bring Stephen King on board to do The Long Walk. You can even have some of the actors that are in the movie do it. You could have some of the great names in horror do it. You could have professionals do it. I just think it would be a fantastic way to really start talking about the book and the film. And yeah, honestly, Forrest Gump is going to win this one. Come on. Okay, so say that doesn't happen, and let's be honest, it's probably not going to happen, but it would be super cool. A lot of walkers, runners, outdoor enthusiasts do things like walk the whole Pacific Crest Trail like Cheryl Strayed and Wild, or they do the whole Appalachian Trail like Bill Bryson in A Walk in the Woods. But you know what I've just decided to do? One day, I'm going to do the long walk. You know why? Because I goddamn want to. I'll start at the Maine Canada border, and I'll start walking south, and I'll do the exact same route that they do in the book, because there are websites, come on, the Stephen King people, I gotta love them. There are websites that track the exact points that they go through, and I'm gonna walk the whole damn thing. Am I gonna do it over 4 miles per hour? Alright, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I can't help it. But I absolutely, totally want to do that walk someday. And then when I'm done with it, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pick up my phone, I'm gonna call the master of horror himself and say, "Hey Stevie, just did the long walk, loved it, bless your heart, you're amazing." Okay, goodbye.
Honey, come on over here, sugar buns.
Now, I'm not going to spoil the book for you and tell you where the walkers ended up, where the last one made it to, how far they traveled. But I do think you should definitely read the book. Or you can do what I did. I went for a walk and I listened to the audiobook, and it's actually really trippy to hear people getting shot and killed while they're walking, while you're walking, and you're definitely not doing the 4-mile pace you should be. It's very interesting. So, get yourself a lake, walk around it, and as you're walking around, try and stay above 4 miles per hour, and if you can, think to yourself, am I going to win the long walk? Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys watching, and please, let me know how your walk goes.